Let's call this meeting to order. It's 4:06, and could we rise and do the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call and verification of the quorum, please, Ms. Gina.
Paul Brannon is absent. Candace Bellamy McPherson.
Present.
Catherine Turner Thompson.
Present.
Cynthia King.
Here.
Lynn Turk is not in attendance. Mark Hammer.
Present.
Gina Eason here. We have a quorum.
Okay. Would someone make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting?
I move to approve the minutes from the last meeting, which was held on October 6th. Gonna need a second, Cynthia.
Oh, I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Any questions?
Oh, I just wondered, can I just bring up,
Sure.
with the minutes, we got all the pictures and stuff from the thing from Floral City. We can just, because I have them, we got them last time. There's no need to keep all this again.
Well, these are the official minutes, so that's why I included them in the backup.
It's the same, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just paper.
Cynthia? Yay or nay? On the approval of the, did you say yes?
What are you asking? I'm sorry.
If you're gonna, yay or nay on the approval of the minutes?
Oh, yes.
Okay, okay, thank you. The next item on the agenda is requirements of HRAB recommendations. Is that something?
Yeah, I wanted to review that. Ms. King brought it up at the last meeting, and I was kind of unprepared. I wanted to be able to present it in a fashion that was orderly and referenced according to the ordinances, and to be able to have a discussion with the board, to let the board know what the differences were, and just to get it, have an official conversation with references available. You have two different forms in front of you. Both of them are 2 pages. One is from the LDC, the Land Development Code. That's the one on the bottom. It has referenced page 6. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a double page. So you have a single page and a double page. The page on the bottom where it's referenced 3-67, 3-68, that's our Land Development Code. Land Development Code itself is what triggers a permit application to come before the HRAB for review. And then the 2-page document with the ordinance references, that's what triggers it to go before the county commission. First, I'm gonna discuss the LDC. Within the LDC, on the top where it says 3574, Inventory of Historical and Archaeological Sites, this is part of our Land Development Code, which triggers any permit application of a house of historic significance to come before the HRAB for review and discussion to find it within appropriateness of the area. If you look down at 3575 review, upon request for permit to alter any structure or site designated in the inventory of historical and archaeological sites, an applicant may submit an application review before the Citrus County Historical Resource Advisory Board. Upon receipt of an application for review, the Citrus County Historical Resource Advisory Board shall conduct a review of the proposed alterations for consistency with past historical records of site or district. When such records do not exist, HRAB shall provide guidance as to an era in which the structure was constructed. 3, provide a recommendation as to the nature of and extent to which preservation, restoration, or reclamation of the structure site should occur. C, any changes to the work proposed to HRAB shall be submitted to staff, and if the staff finds that the proposed changes is minimal and does not materially affect the aesthetic character or otherwise in accordance with guidelines established by the HRAB, staff may approve modification. Otherwise, a new application must be submitted. In basic, the LDC requires any house historic in nature to come before the review board. Just make sure that it's going to hold the Florida vernacular or the characteristics of the area. It does not trigger a permit application to go before the Board of County Commissioners for review or denial. It's just a due process in which the Historical Resource Advisory Board has the opportunity to try and provide suggestions to a structure that they find, or an application they find that might not be in the characteristics of that community. So it's just a chance for the Historical Resource Advisory Board to have an input onto the historical nature of any house to try and keep it within characteristics. Whereas the Historical Preservation Ordinance, which is the 2 pages, on the top left, not midway, but bottom of the first paragraph says Ordinance 2023-A07, Historic Site Structures and District Designation Procedures. I'm gonna skip down to B. A just talks about applicants and what an applicant can do. B, Advisory Board Agenda. Following staff determination that an application for designation is complete, the applicant shall be scheduled for a public hearing by the Advisory Board. This would be if they want to change the actual designation of an area and provide it with a historic district designation. Or a house. If a house wants to have a historic designation applied to it, like the local historic designation that we've been working on. This is for an actual designation, not a permit application to modify or construct. So it's 2 different applications. One is if they want to do work to a house, it's going to get reviewed. If they want a designation, they have to come before the board with the proper application, be it local, state, or national application. The state will then review it. If it's approved on both levels, at that point, then the Resource Advisory Board, upon approval and all of the necessary requirements being fulfilled, at that point, it'll go before the Board of County Commissioners. And that's the difference between what triggers something to go before the Board of County Commissioners, or if it's just going to come before the Historical Resource Advisory Board. And again, we are an advisory board, that's why we give recommendations. And that's the difference between what goes to the commissioners and what just stays before the boards for a recommendation.
I remember, discussing this when we were getting the CLG together. And one of the guidance things would be to offer advice to historical property owners, which would include recommendations and benefits of tax incentives for different things that they could do, and also working with the State Department in the historical preservation, finding out information they have too. So,
I remember when Cynthia brought this up, I don't think it was it's a couple meetings ago, I think, right? And I think specifically we were wondering also about county-owned buildings. How does this apply also to county-owned buildings?
If a permit's applied for within Citrus County, it would. So the courthouse itself is within the city of Inverness.
Right.
The historic courthouse is within the city of Inverness. We do not review permits to go before the city of Inverness. So if a permit's applied for the county, for the historic courthouse,
Right.
that permit goes before the Inverness Building Department.
So you're saying it wouldn't come here before it goes to we couldn't review and recommend before it goes to the
We don't have the authority. We don't have jurisdiction over the city of Inverness.
But the county does own the building, right?
That's correct.
Okay. The other question I had was,
Actually, I was a little bit confused about item number E because it says requirements of HRAB recommendations. And I actually thought that had to do with my item number 1 that I sent and requested for it to be on this agenda. And that was to select and recommend to the BOCC 1 board member. And we actually, according to the ordinance, can nominate 2. I know that isn't part of this, but before we go on, I just wanted to make that note.
I had discussion with legal, and the board itself, will not be reviewing applicants.
Okay.
That's a decision by the county commission, because the county commission appoints the applicants. As a board, legal said that it's not a good idea and it's not wise for the board to have discussions about their peers and to select their peers.
Okay. So,
Because, and a good example was, when it comes time for your reapplication,
yeah,
it's not wise for your application, your reappointment, to be based on your peers.
right, okay. So, when will that go before the Board of County Commissioners? Because I know we have some very good applicants, and I know they've been out there in wherever for about 6 months now. And as you can see, we need board members. And so what is the process for that next step? Because I was always under the impression it would, but I understand where you're coming from.
That's probably going to get sent to the board when it's available on their next agenda, on their next available agenda.
We can prepare to get it placed for nomination and appointment on the quickest BOCC meeting.
Yeah,
At not the October meeting, but the meeting prior to October, it was suggested that we continue taking applications because we had only received 3. So we did another social media blast,
okay,
and I have received a couple of more applications, one as early
Yeah.
as a Friday.
yeah, I looked at them.
So I've got a couple of new applications, so I can get that prepared and get that to go in front of the board. I'm not sure exactly what board meeting cutoff dates are off the top of my head at the moment, but probably at the last board meeting in January, I could probably have that done and get some appointment done.
Okay. Sounds good. We're moving right along to item number F, grant application to DHR to update survey work and/or design guidelines to be in compliance with the CLG. This is something that we've talked about quite a few different times, and as you know, the deadline is coming up June. And I would like, as part of the board, just to have some direction of when we can maybe meet again with the grants person here in the county and go over some of those things. And if there's anything else that we need to do here at this board meeting.
I don't know when we're going to sit down. I don't know what the date would be. I have spoke with the state about the grant applications.
The what?
The state.
Oh, yes.
State Historic Preservation Office. I spoke with them recently about the application and the process
Yeah.
and requirements. And I spoke with our grant writer recently. And I actually put our grant writer directly in touch with the grant review department up at the state, and they're discussing it now. Our grant writer, Ms. Stevens, said that she does not see there being an issue with getting the grants properly written and applied before the deadline. State, I spoke with them, they provided us with an avenue to actually help us with the help us, by us, I mean the county, to help the county with our application process and provide us an opportunity that they would look at and review our grant applications before our applications are actually submitted to the National Park Service.
No, it just goes to the state.
There's also federal money as well.
Not, I don't think on the small matching grants.
According to the conversation I had, there's availability as well. So I'm not going to
From
close.
the federal.
Correct. I'm not going to
Okay.
close any doors, any opportunity that's
Okay.
available. I'm going to try and seek avenues to receive whichever grants we can possibly receive.
Okay, and I know we talked a lot about updating the surveys, the old surveys. Another important aspect, I think, is coming up with some design guidelines. I think something like this would be most helpful and for all of us in working through what we have here in the county, what's appropriate, what's not appropriate. And this was something the state sent me on a grant that the city of Gainesville applied for, and it was through, DHR, small matching grants for CLGs, and it was rehabilitation and design guidelines. So I know we need to update our survey. I know that we have this 92 item list of historic structures, and then I got an updated Citrus Florida Master Site File list from the state that has about 1,300 or 1,400 historic sites. Now, that is throughout the whole county. And the Crystal River Main Street program just finished up on an updated survey for their historic structures in the city of Crystal River. And they even had historical structures 1950, so 70 years. So they're getting some of those, I think, even mid-modern, mid-century, mid-modern, so whatever. Some of those structures on their, as part of the Florida Master Site File. So I just wanted to, I hope that can be a consideration. And if there's anything I can do to help, I'd be more than happy. I know we have the Florida Master Site Files for most of the historic structures here in Citrus County at the Old Courthouse Heritage Museum. And so, work could even be started on that in terms of research, I think, even before the fact, as long as we know that it's going to move forward.
I think it might be more prudent to update our local survey before we create guidelines. The guidelines is good to have a structure, but the survey was something that was discussed going back before the creation of the CLG.
Yeah, and it would be great if we could do both, though I figure that $50,000 won't. The city of Crystal River, the Main Street director, she said they had about 250 historic structures either updated or added with the funds that they got from the state.
Another thing that will have to be addressed to go along with the surveys or to go along with the grants is the funding. The Historical Resource Advisory Board does not have a budget.
Right,
The funding's gonna have to be whatever is appropriated by the board.
right.
So that's also gonna create the limitations as to what grants we're even be considered for, because we're at the mercy of the money at that point when it comes to grants.
Well, I think the good thing about that is, being a certified local government, there's no cash match.
Some of it's matching grants.
Yeah, but it's in kind, it's not cash.
I'll wait to hear back from our grant writer, where I could have some definitive answers on that. That's why I turned part of that over to her to let her deal with it.
In the past, when we've applied for grants, the county staff time was counted as in-kind.
And so was volunteers.
Yes.
Volunteer staff. And I just read, DHR now has a limit on volunteer time at minimum wage, which is $7.50. And that's something new, I believe. Because we used to,
Then if you have a professional, someone that is a professional doing an in-kind
contribution.
that falls within their professionalism, that's high dollar.
Well, it used to be.
Yeah.
Who knows now? Does anybody else have any questions? Questions?
What's CLG stand for? I'm sorry.
Certified local government.
What?
Certified local government.
Thank you.
Okay, item number G, green print and heritage tourism. Both myself and Candy have been asked to be on focus groups for the green print plan that the county is working on with North Florida Land Trust. And they've had several meetings, and the key person did a Zoom conference with myself and Mark Falkenberg a week or two ago. And let's see, it was decided that we would have a focus group on historical resources. So that's going to be next Tuesday from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. at the Historic Courthouse downtown Inverness. And anybody that's interested in historical, culture, or whatever resources here in the county, I invite you all. They focus on about 5 different things, including water, agriculture. I know Candy's agriculture's, of course, Candy's bailiwick, and historical resources, and a couple of others. But it's core key values that we think that are important in our county. So that was one part of it, and the other part was I've been attending the TDC. I attended their November meeting a couple weeks ago to reintroduce myself because it had been quite a while since I had, been to the TDC meetings. And I also went the following week, I think it was, to Partners in Tourism. This is kind of a group of tourism professionals and business owners in the county that get together once a month at different locations throughout the county, and they come up, well, the TDC or the Visitor Bureau, they present information, statistics and stuff, and what they've been doing for the previous month, and then what they plan to do in the future, and then it also allows the opportunity for partners to bring ideas forward, to the staff and other community members. And there were a lot of great ideas that were brought up at this last Partners in Tourism meeting, including packages, tourist packages to Citrus County. Not that, come and swim with the manatees or go scalloping for a day or so and then leave, but to really expand the length of their visit to Citrus County, because, anybody that looks into it, they'll know that people who travel for heritage, cultural, and historic preservation, as opposed to an average or kind of normal traveler, stays longer, spends more money, and just like historic preservation, it's an economic boom all the way around. So, and I can remember moving here in 1964, and we did not have the manatees that we have today. In fact, I bet you if there was, in the wintertime, 100 manatees in the river, that would be very surprising. Of course, they are not native to our area. They're a Caribbean species.
I think that's bleeding over into
Yes, okay.
tourism development and straying away from the Historical Resource Advisory Board.
Yes, but heritage tourism is one of the goals. So it melds together. And I'll move on. I think you've answered H. And in terms of the nominating for local landmarks, we have that document. I guess it was approved a few meetings ago. So is this something that would be presented to someone who comes and wants to place their structure on a?
Correct.
So where would they find this?
We're going to get that posted on the website, and they could also reach out to us, and we'll email it to them with other contacts as well.
Yeah, because I looked on the website, it wasn't there today. And then I think that's it. I was able to get my other comments in, and I'm finished. Does anybody have any questions or other comments?
In reference to the local historic designation, I did speak to the state level in reference to the file number, which is one of the requirements. And we had a short discussion on the file number, how they need to apply to the state. And she did say that basically it's just a part of the application. If they submit an application, they do receive a file number. It's not going to go through a review at the state level. They submit the application to the state with the requirements that's indicated, and the state will give them a file number. So it's basically just due process.
Oh, have you seen this before, Mark? I'm sure you have. It was done about 2016.
Yes.
Okay, I was wondering if new and older members could get it, because I think this is a good thing for us maybe to review at maybe one of our next meetings. It talks about the mission statement that was created for the Historical Resources Advisory Board sometime between 2009 and 2016. It has goals and objectives.
It probably needs to be updated.
Yeah, if we could do that at one of our next meetings, I think that would be great. And then it also has and I'm sure this would help anybody that's doing the annual report for the CLG, accomplishments by the Historical Resources Advisory Board.
I think that as well goes to 2016, and that's the last,
Yeah. The last time we submitted that, that's not,
no, the last year that's indicated on the accomplishments, I believe is 2016.
right, yes, you're right.
We've had quite a few things happen since then, so that should
yeah.
probably be updated as well.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, that's it, thank you. Open to the public. Is there anyone who would like to speak during open to the public? Please come up if you would.
My name is Bill Antonin. I'm with Old Schoolhouse Community Center, which is Club Recovery. I just want to bring it to your attention that we're going to be putting a pole barn in the back. And we had a tent up there, but with the winds and everything, it's just not sustainable.
Sir,
Yes.
you're not putting a pole barn up, you'd like to discuss putting a pole.
No, I'd like to discuss putting up a pole barn, yeah. So, we have the space in the back to stick up a 40 by 60, which would give us the room to also have events where we've got coverage on the outside in case there's rain and other things. I don't know if you've all been there or who's been there, who hasn't, but I brought a book up that has shown we're almost completely done with the interior. So that was supposed to be a 5-year project. We've got 2,500 man-hours into it and all volunteer labor. So right now, we're working, recoup some funds so we can start working on the outside. But some of our primary things is, one of them is a pole barn, because the more events we can have, the more funds we can raise. So I'd just like to bring that to the attention, and if you have any questions, I do have a schematic of the pole barn with the wind resistance and everything to follow the county's guidelines.
I missed, what is your business?
We are the Old Schoolhouse Community Center. We took over we leased the Old Hernando School, the historic school on Parsons Point Road in 41.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I missed that.
Yeah, and we've done quite a bit. We're open from 7:30 in the morning to 9 at night, 6 days a week, and then Sunday, it depends what's going on. We have, I think I counted 43 meetings going on right now. And we're, as a community center, we just served the community for Thanksgiving with Grace Point Church, did the cooking for us. That was Kathy and Bill. And we did 20 turkeys and 10 hams, and I think we had like 2 or 3 turkeys left and about 3 hams. So we're estimated about
You
120.
didn't cook them on premises, did you?
Huh?
Did you cook them on premises?
No,
Oh, I thought,
there's nothing there to cook with.
you don't have a kitchen?
No. They did over at the church.
Okay.
No. So I'd like to ask your opinion on what the thoughts are on having a pole barn.
So what area were you planning on placing it?
We have the asphalt that we could use to put it over. That way, if it rained, it wouldn't be a mud pit. So it'd be in the back of the school where you wouldn't see it from the road. And then you have the tree lines, so you basically won't even see it from Parsons Point unless you're looking for it.
So you're
And
thinking
then-
about over the, you're thinking about over the old, well, it was a,
Basketball court?
Basketball court.
yeah, it was a old PE court,
Yeah, yes.
yeah.
Yeah, and the materials were available, so as far as being time, making it so that it was appropriate material for the time, they did have pole barns back then.
What height is this? This 40 by 60 is,
40 by 60, yeah, and it'll be, the height of it is. Mike, you want to come up here?
14?
I'm the president, Mike is our treasurer, and he's also a licensed building contractor in Citrus, Marion, and Sumter County. So he's going to be the one pulling the permits with us.
It's got listed on the front page on sheet 1 of 3. The post height is down in the bottom left-hand corner. It's got everything listed out. Roof pitch is a 312. We're gonna be going with 8x8 pressure-treated post, and concrete footings. 'Cause we'll use the asphalt base as the surface that we're gonna cover. But we still have the 2-foot wide, 4-foot deep concrete footings for each of the posts that go up. Excuse me. And it's got the 14-foot post height is listed there. The roofing material will be 29 gauge, like Galvalume Ultra Rib. Metal roofing, I think it said it's got 2x6 purlins. Everything is wood frame with the exception of the actual trusses, they're welded steel. So we have, those would be in the, as part of the roof process as well.
It'd make it stronger.
So how far would it be from the east access door there?
Okay, so
East would be
That's- yeah, we
the,
call
In the
that
back.
door.
Yeah, back.
Gotcha. So ideally, we haven't settled on an exact location, but I think functionally what makes the most sense is the way that court was formed, you had the half circle at the top, half circle at the bottom. I would imagine if you're looking out the back door at the asphalt, we would have the back, I think the 20-foot or the 40-foot width along the very far back edge, just before that semicircle on the asphalt. I don't have an actual distance off the top of my head, but kind of justified towards the back of the asphalt. So if there's any remaining asphalt, it's open coverage closer to the building versus the far side.
And better access to that door?
Yes.
Yeah,
That would still leave anybody that needs to kind of use that front semicircle as a loading spot for materials or, sometimes like we did the food thing
Right.
on Thanksgiving. They're able to still drive a vehicle around and use it as a loading, unloading point for people or goods. That's just kind of, in our discussion, seems to be the most appropriate of the places to choose to put it.
Cynthia, do you have any questions?
well, that 14-foot would not be higher than the school.
oh, no. No.
Okay.
I apologize,
No,
I
go
may
ahead.
be incorrect, I don't think I am. I think that post height is a maximum. If we needed to adjust the height down for any reason, I believe it's not an issue to lower it, we just can't exceed that height based on the engineering.
Is it flat roof or is it?
It's a
You said a
3/12 pitch.
pitch.
Yep, it's kind of like a gable roof, but an open gable end.
Okay.
Do you have
And one
any?
of our thoughts is, so that it doesn't stand out, is to put a green roof on it, because everything's green around it, trees. If you have a aluminum roof, it's gonna be pretty bright. So So having a colored roof on it would make it blend into the natural surroundings.
Well, it's gonna absorb more heat. If you have an aluminum roof, it's gonna reflect heat, right?
Well, it's gonna be open sides in its entirety.
Yeah.
So it's
Well,
not
that's
like it's
not
gonna
gonna
necessarily
matter.
trap a lot of heat in there. As long as we have any kind of breeze on any given day, it's gonna pass through anyway. The metal
Green.
roof itself sheds a lot of the heat just because of the properties of the metal to begin with.
The green is nice, but in Florida it fades pretty easily.
I wonder,
Everything fades in Florida pretty easily,
I
doesn't it?
yeah, it
I
does.
know that from experience, yeah.
I was wondering if, in terms of color-wise, if maybe, if there could be something that maybe matches the brick better in the green.
We can match the brick with the red roof. They've got dark red.
Or not necessarily dark red. Didn't somebody bring us a proposal that had more of a brownish kind of brick color? Not a real bright red.
No,
but
no, no, a dull red.
Yeah, duller red.
We
Yeah.
more than likely end up with our material coming from Tri-County Metals. They have 25 to 30, I think, different colors.
Colors, right,
available.
yeah.
So, it's just a matter of preference, I guess.
Yeah, the thing about with, when you're adding something, as long as it is within the confines of the area of the original, the historic structure, going back, that's really what's most appropriate. And then the other thing, do you have a drawing of it? Do you have a drawing? Or do you know what your timeline might look like?
We're ready to move forward, provided we don't foresee any roadblocks.
Yeah, right.
We just have to put, we've got the permits, and not the permits, but we've got the drawings in to be submitted in for approval from the,
Do you guys want me to
Yeah,
pass it
sure.
on?
And this would also be part of the community center?
Yes.
yes.
On page 2, it's only a front view, but that gives you kind of the gist of what it's gonna look like.
Just
from
an
the front
open
face, And it's
pole
just a
barn.
straight, square, rectangle, 312 pitch with these being, I think they're powder coated black steel
I
welded
don't know
together.
if you've seen the book yet.
No,
But that's here for
haven't.
you guys to take.
I want to get by there, but I haven't had a chance.
Is that slab then in a condition that you won't have to do anything more to it?
Well, currently it's blacktop asphalt. It's just the old asphalt that's always been on back, so
No, but that
pole barn-
deteriorates over time. How long has that been there?
I'm scared to ask. Not 100% sure.
It's
Yeah, I
been
know.
there since.
No, it's been there a while. The way we'd have to do if we wanted to is just put a coat of sealer on it. Is usually what you do with the asphalt to give it more life.
It's been there since the late 80s.
Not last week.
Yep.
Definitely not new. Like he was saying, I think resealing it would go a long way, but that's something that can be done essentially by hand, whether the pole barn structure is there or not.
It is in pretty good shape, though.
It is in good shape.
Especially for its age, we've had no complaints. The pole barn footers would be dug independent of the asphalt itself. So the individual footers wouldn't be affected by whether or not the asphalt's in a certain condition or not. So we'd be able to get cold patch if we needed to, if we ever had any potholes to fill. We wouldn't be limited by having to have machinery get up underneath there for any reason.
Okay, but I was just thinking, if you do anything around that foundation and stress that it might crack it or,
We're way away from the school building itself, from the
I
foundation.
mean, on this foundation for the pole barn, it wouldn't crack that
There isn't gonna be
asphalt.
there isn't gonna be a foundation like I think you're thinking. There's
So
not gonna be
You're gonna
big
put
square.
a
It'll be on the outside of it.
concrete block around the edges?
Nope, it'll just be like columns, poured columns,
Holes.
Yeah,
and going straight up, and then if it's within the asphalt, you cut the asphalt out, you dig it down, pour your concrete, put the asphalt right back over with cold patch to match it.
Okay.
This, the work that you've done is great. I have a question in reference to where the pole barn is going, and I know that the original restoration documents and when we went forward to the state, called for taking out the ramp on the north side and putting a ramp in the back. Would there still be room in the back if that were to ever happen?
Yes.
Okay, okay. I don't know, Mark, you might know more about the ADA requirements and those kind of things for the building, but I know that the ramp the ramp on the north side did not comply when we started the restoration. Right, Candy, is that not true?
But it was grandfathered in.
Oh, okay, is that what they said? So it doesn't really need to be redone, is what who knows?
We would really
Do,
like,
do with what we
Yeah,
we would like to in the future put a ramp in the back. We wanted to put one in the front, but obviously that's not gonna fly.
yeah,
But we'd like to put one in the back because if there's a wedding, we lease it out for weddings. We just had a celebration of life. One of our trustees lost his son.
yeah.
And there's 100 people in there, so if there's something going on and we're using the other part, if somebody needs to come through, I'd hate to see somebody wanting to get through in a wheelchair if there's a wedding going on.
Yeah,
So, in the future, we're looking to try and put a ramp in the back also.
yeah, that was our long plan. We actually have the plans for it, for that back door and the ramp.
You do, you have,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of the architectural,
If we could get those, that would be fantastic.
there should be a copy here, but I think we have a copy at the
Yeah,
historic
it's-
courthouse in the
Yeah,
archives.
we'll see if we can round it up.
In terms of, now, how long have you been in the building?
We got the keys in
was it January?
February,
This February?
this February.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
We did, all the work you see there was done in 7 weeks, 2,500 man hours,
Whoa.
and not a paid employee.
Yeah, I see. And what, and a paid employee or no paid?
None.
None, right, that's what I thought. And so this must have been shortly after you got in, right? Where you're.
Yes.
In terms of, now that you've been there almost a year, is there anything in terms of things you didn't expect or pleasant surprises or
The roof,
the roof? Oh, tell me about that.
We really kind of hoped against hope that the roof would give us a couple of years before it started acting up. On the back section, I guess over the east entrance, that spot holds a lot of moisture where the two roofs come together.
Right,
And there is some leaking that's happening over there. We had factored into our long-term plan, ultimately having to replace the roof at some point. We didn't think it was gonna come up the first year as something that's gonna be an issue.
now how old is that? Do you remember?
We put a new roof on in 2006.
ooh,
Out there.
Yeah, it is. And are there any I don't remember this, but are there any downspouts that?
No.
No downspouts that will,
Downspouts and gutters of any.
and we are in the process of wanting to just put a gutter over the back entrance, because when it rains, it is actual curtain of water.
right.
And so also, it'd mitigate washing out the foundation there.
Right. Any other surprises or things that you're looking forward to on the building besides?
I was surprised that the floor was in that good a condition.
Yeah,
And it looks excellent.
it cleaned up nicely with a lot of elbow grease.
Yeah,
We kept that old carpet down
That's
just to protect it
yeah,
while things were
It
happening
paid
in
off.
there.
It
Yeah,
took quite a bit of effort to get the glue up from the carpet,
yeah,
but ultimately it seemed to have been worth
We
worth
went through about $3,000 worth of sandpaper alone.
it.
getting it all.
Yeah, but it looks wonderful.
Yeah,
I can't
it does.
believe it. My last question is, in terms of maintenance, do you foresee doing any painting on the exterior around the gate?
Yes.
Okay,
We have right now, when Mike and I went first to look at the building,
right,
we went through what's called Exactimate, which is an insurance program to figure out the cost of what it would be roughly. So we've done the inside mostly, and the outside we're figuring still is gonna be about $125,000, because you've got a lot of repair on
Yeah,
the,
there's a lot of soffit that is in less than desirable condition,
You-
really not. You can put paint on anything.
Yeah, right,
Ultimately, it'll either be out there in 2 years painted again if you don't replace the board with
Right.
something that's in good shape. So part of it is just, we had figured over a 5 or 10 year period doing this, and just kind of the way the circumstances unfolded, we were able to get all that work done right away at the beginning.
right,
So we obviously depleted most of our funds that we had in reserve for the project,
right.
and we're just kind of now
Rebuilding,
taking a minute to put some money back in the bank and be a little.
right.
catch our breath.
Yeah, right. It's the holidays. You deserve it.
And, ultimately, there's a lot of time and effort still needed on the outside to really catalog how much needs to be replaced versus how much can be filled, how much, all the painting work can be done there.
I know
I forget the year, but the outside paint had, I guess, lead. And so, there was a special procedure in taking all that off.
Yeah.
And it was painted and some new wood put up, and I want to say it was around, the roof was in 2000, it was after the roof.
Yeah.
So it must have been like 2010, somewhere in there.
I mean, 15 years is a good amount of life out of regular wood to begin with.
Right,
So we're, like I said, there's a little bit of survey time needed to be spent
Right.
outside to really kind of eliminate what's good, what's bad.
right.
the front doors are, I've got to go in and replace some of the wood and dig out some of the rod and put plastic wood or something in there to fill it. The door, we got a quote on the doors at $9,000 each.
East and west?
No, just the north door,
Oh, my God.
the auditorium. The two doors would be about 17,000, what he told us.
Maybe a salvage place down in St. Peter, St. Augustine.
I mean, the truth is, I could build them. by
Cheaper than that, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It might take 6 months to get them built, but I'll build them for a lot cheaper than
right,
17 grand.
right.
How are you managing through the electric bills there?
I was thinking the same thing.
We just pay it and don't think about it.
Oh, no.
Not really it's not terrible. We have the building open a significant amount of time more than it was being used before. I think our highest electric bill was so far been,
42?
no, I think it was 32. We stayed pretty consistently around $2,600 or $2,800 a month the last couple of months.
Yeah.
I think this last month, we had a good couple of cold spells. And
Yes.
I'm a huge fan of bring a jacket and don't complain.
Right,
So I think we were down around $1,600 or $1,700 this last month that came through.
it's a big building,
It's certainly better than we were concerned it could be.
yeah.
During the renovation process, we managed to get, like the blown-in insulation fill that usually goes in a residential attic. We managed to kind of toss that down the inside of some of the top portion of the brick walls.
Oh,
Brick
nice.
walls,
We were
yeah.
able to add
Nice,
some insulation in some spots
That probably
that
helped.
previously we didn't really notice were even accessible, to try and get some things done. Additionally, when you look up at the ceiling and you've got the two roofs, you're staring at the auditorium, the stage, and the whole rest of the building goes off this way, that roof that dies into the auditorium, there was zero insulation between the roof boards and the attic space for the rest of the building we found. So we covered with a vapor barrier and laid on 10 or 12 inches worth of the blown-in insulation there to try and keep the heat from the other side of the building getting into the auditorium. So we definitely found some spots that were able to be addressed in a way that was pretty beneficial so far.
Good.
That's great.
In terms of other maintenance on the building, or water penetration to the building, have you noticed any other areas of water penetration?
Zero.
Those, are-
Just right over that east door, there was some damage previously. We did some restoration there and made some repairs when we were doing the original renovation. And just recently, we noticed with a decent enough rainstorm, you'll get some drippage. And we just haven't had somebody there at the right time to go up in the attic, and try and catch where the drip is
yeah,
coming from.
yeah.
It's just the timing hasn't worked out well with anybody being there that had the physical ability to run up in the attic and go up.
Well, one of the things that's really good for historic brick buildings and maintenance and cleaning is something called D2. It's not caustic. It's very, in fact, you don't even have to wear gloves if you don't want to. And when we usually use it on headstones, we dilute it 50/50 water in that just to, because it's not cheap, just to make it go further. And so, power washing is probably a no-no unless it's at very low PSIs. And so the more that you can keep, let's see, the water away from the window frames and keep the window frames maintained, and if the brick, I never noticed it to need to be repointed, and so that's a good thing, and that will keep it from needing to be repointed. If you do those kind of maintenance things. And I have some things that I could send you if that would be okay.
Absolutely.
But I don't have your email. This is red brick as opposed to brown brick, or I guess it is red brick, right, Candy? As opposed to brown brick, or the yellow buff brick that we have at the historic courthouse, which is so soft. It's not like brown brick or red brick at all, and water is really not good on that brick. I mean, high-pressure water, of course. I think this is,
Well, I move to approve their recommendation of putting a pole barn up at the historic Hernando School.
It will still come back before the board with a permit application,
Okay,
but this was,
yeah,
Yeah, we just wanted to,
Con-
we'd like to know
Update.
now, before we go spend the, whatever it is, $13,000 on the package of material,
right.
that you guys would be okay with
but it sounds like to give that east door some room
Yes.
as
for
much as possible.
other
absolutely.
things that may
Yes.
happen there in the future, and then,
just to correct me, this was a courtesy review to provide you all an opportunity to present what you'd like to do, to know prior to application if it was gonna be an acceptable form or not, is that correct?
Yes.
We'll
Would,
submit an
would,
application for
would
a
you
permit.
like a copy of the permit, the building? Because we have full-grown copies of, engineered copies.
With the permit application, it'll come back before the board at that
Okay.
time in a full process. I just wanted for the record to clarify that this was just more of a courtesy review.
Nice. Yeah, I approved it. Did we, was that a real motion?
no,
Okay,
It's just a,
Just,
just a discussion.
okay.
an approval of what we discussed.
Yeah, thank you very much. I need to make an appointment to come and see it.
You don't have to have an appointment, just walk in and enjoy the building.
Okay.
There's free coffee too, cattle dogs.
Oh, nice.
Smells good when you walk in
Partnered
there.
with cattle dogs, and
Cool.
we've been fortunate that we haven't had to charge since we opened Club Recovery 13 years ago for coffee. One year we gave out 36,000 cups.
Are you you don't, as a community center, then you're not charging for any of the activities?
Yes, if there's a instructor involved, because we are leasing space. So if there is an instructor involved, they sign a waiver, whoever comes in, and the instructor assigns a fee.
Okay. Because that will help some of your fees. I know
Yes, it
not
does.
a lot, but some.
We have a church that meets there on Sunday morning, and they signed an agreement, so we're, that helps out too.
That's really good. I'm so glad y'all are able to, all that you've done in the volunteer hours. It's amazing.
Yep.
I commend you for all of what you've done there.
Yeah,
And
that's how you get things done in this county. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, staff updates? Mark?
I don't really have any update. A lot of my conversation was already held with the previous bullet
Items.
points.
I just have one other item. I want to go back to when these members or these applications are submitted to the BOCC. According to the ordinance here, it says there should be 5 members with 2 alternates. Okay, so we can actually get 3 out of these 5? Is that 2 alternates?
There'll be two.
There'll be,
We're vacant two. We have 2 vacancies.
We have 2 vacancies. And then we have 2 alternates?
Lynn Turk is an alternate,
Okay,
and then we had Melissa Bowermaster, who resigned, was
Okay.
an alternate, so
Okay.
she will be
I see.
replaced. Bud Osborne was a regular member,
right.
so he will be being replaced.
Okay,
So we
one and
will be
one.
Looking for 1 regular member, and we will be looking for 1 alternate member.
Thank you for the clarification. And then lastly, we have upcoming tentative 2026 meeting dates as February the 2nd for the February meeting, April 6th for the April meeting, and moving right on over, June 1st, August 3rd, October 5th, and December 26th.
December 7th.
I'm sorry, where did, oh, I got the year. December 7th, 26th.
With that, I went ahead and took the liberty to go ahead and reserve the room for the first Monday. If there's any discrepancies, I can always change that if the board isn't in agreement with the first Monday, if that conflicts with anything. But at this time, I've went ahead and reserved the room, so we didn't come into any hiccups because the room wasn't available.
In the past, we've motioned and voted on the dates.
Okay.
Should we do that?
Yeah.
Should we do that?
Yes.
Would you?
Okay. I move to approve the tentative meeting dates that have been scheduled.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, I approve. Passes unanimously. And we are adjourning at 5:02.
I move to adjourn.
Cynthia? Will you second?
All right. Thank you, Mark
Yeah, thank you, Mark.
And-
Thank you,
Mark,
Gina.
and Gina.
Happy holidays.
Have a good Christmas.
I should have some definitive information on the grants